Gentlemen, please welcome the Vice President of Gartner Research, Tiffany Bova.
Well, good morning, everybody. What a pleasure to be in front of 14,000 of my closest friends. And it's a pleasure to be with Microsoft here at this great conference this week. As IT vendors have been ambitious on delivering waves of new technology over the last few years, we've seen a seismic shift in not only new and innovative products and services, but also in the way people use it and what they expect from it. I like to say we have entered the experience economy, on where all consumers and businesses want to experience technology in new ways which enrich their lives and make business better. Three things we know for sure. The first one is that technology has become so much more than PCs, software, and data centers. It has become a digital network of people, things, places, and systems, something we now refer to as the Internet of Everything. We've entered a time where the possibilities of using technology to solve really complex issues is actually happening quickly, both in our personal and professional lives. It's limitless as to where technology can take us, as well as the speed in which it is happening. Innovation and its opportunities mean that you can take all that you've heard this week back to your offices, but you're going to have to be bold. And more importantly, you're going to have to be confident. You're going to have to be confident in your ability to transform. Don't get distracted. Rather, stay very focused on the task at hand. It will become exciting to watch all of you as you take this back to your businesses and help your customers realize the possibility of technology in new and innovative ways. Now everything can be on the internet. Everything can be on the internet. We've got the internet of people. We've got the internet of information. We've got the internet of things. And if you can see very closely, you may notice that that's actually a diaper. There's a sensor in that diaper. We have moved to a whole new level of the internet of everything. You no longer need to go. You can just have it. Tell your smartphone that it's time to change your child. I didn't make that up. And then you've got the Internet of Places. All around us, sensors are realizing when we're entering and consuming and engaging with people and places in new ways. What this means to you is that you've got to focus on turning, instead of just towards technology and what it does for you and your business, but more importantly, what it does for your customer's business. We have to make sure we always keep the customer at the center and becomes our North Star on what we do. Because technology has significantly changed, and I think we would all agree that that is in fact the case, and how it's used differently, and what people expect from it, we now have this new set of buyers, which are creating significant disruption in the way in which you need to think about how you take your products and services to market, as well as how you engage with your customers. Not only does technology mean different things in your business, but it's your job, really your job, to be able to communicate the vision of what technology can do to help your customers. But now the buyers are much more independent. They're much more informed. They know more about you when they show up to your website. They do their own research. They talk to your customers ahead of time. They reach out to their trusted network. But more importantly, they're overwhelmed by information. By the time that they get to you, they'll say, I know who you are. I know what you're capable of. I know what you're going to charge me. I know how you can help my business. Now, whether they're actually accurate or not is not really the point. What's really the point is that their perception is they understand you better than anything. And because they're more independent, their buyer journey is changing. And so you have to think that you no longer can own that journey of how they find you, how they decide to do business with you, and how you can engage and sell with them. You've got to think about how do you cross this feature-benefit divide. Customers are different, not only in who is buying, but what they're buying and how they're consuming it. Back in 2012, Gartner made a prediction that by 2017, the chief marketing officer would spend more on IT than the CIO. We're seeing this prediction being on track as the digitization of business continues to gain momentum. we also see many lines of businesses either driving or participating in IT projects across all phases of the buyer journey. And because of that, we need you to think about how you message to these new customers in different ways. You can see from the image above that you can tell the difference between what an IT buyer may ask for, what the business is actually asking for. And the two things, while very, very similar, are different enough that if you only message to one, you'll miss the other. When you think about how you will want to transform your business from technology as it was to technology as it is today, selling to buyers as they were and selling to buyers as they are today, I want to bring up on stage one of the great partners of Microsoft to share with you his journey, and we'll spend a little bit of time asking him some questions. Come on up on stage, Finn.
Hi.
Thanks, nice to see you.
Great to be here.
Thanks to be here with all my friends.
Yeah?
Yes?
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Close, we're close.
Yeah, it's intimate. You know.
So as a Born in the Cloud partner, you're very, very focused on service contracts versus consulting. Yeah. And I know that that is very important to you. And you're very consistent with what we would consider the telco model. That's unique for a partner. How does that drive greater profitability for you and your business?
Well, there's no doubt now Microsoft has transformed into a services company, and they do subscription. Building business on that requires that you can do both services to put on top, and it's also, well, it's easy because we put all of our services into subscriptions also. And that means that we have we can predict our revenue day by day, month by month, together with the licensing services of Microsoft, and we can really be profitable with that, and we are.
Excellent. Well, you're very willing to take risks, no question, right? And how does risks kind of manifest itself, and how do you manage those risks in your business? And more importantly, how has taking risks, big bets, little bets, helped you?
Well, taking risk is part of developing your business, really, and I think it keeps us sharp, it keeps us lean, and it keeps us motivated when we're approaching customers. And we can see that we need to do some learning by burning in this process of transforming together with Microsoft, and that it has helped us. We've learned a lot, and we're still learning.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, partnering with other partners has been key to your success. Yeah. Partner-to-partner networking has been something this market has talked about for a long time. Yeah. And I think now it's really coming to fruition. I think you may agree. So, with all this networking going on with everybody this week, which is a great opportunity, what have you learned in working with other partners, and how has that actually helped you service your customers better?
Well, I must say, taking the best of breed from other partners and bringing in together with my own business to customers has really helped us a lot. And looking out here, all the partners here, it's a question of being open, reaching out, taking in the best, and then you'll also succeed at customers. So we do a lot of partnering.
Have you met any good partners this week?
Oh, yes, and I actually made an agreement yesterday with a very, very, very good partner in a specific area.
So new business coming to see soon.
It is.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Finn. Thanks for spending a little time with us. Let's give Finn a hand. Well, it was fantastic to hear from cloud people on how they're harnessing technology as an amazing canvas to which to build new opportunities and, more importantly, growth. Regardless of where you are in your own company's transformation journey, I hope we all can agree that with technology being significantly different, your buyers and their expectations being significantly different, we have to think about the sales model. What are the things you need to think about on the kinds of sellers you have, the way you organize, the way you compensate your sellers, the way you message and market your company? The internal metric-driven sales organization is actually hurting your business. It's fostering the wrong behaviors. In my sessions yesterday, I asked the question, how many of you have pipeline meetings on a weekly basis? How many of you have pipeline meetings on a weekly basis? Everybody should raise their hand. It's the way we manage our business, and we have to think about it a little bit differently now. If the customer is different, the technology is different, how can we possibly keep the same sales model? So you've got to think about building metrics that are broader and more complex and maybe more comprehensive to give you transparency into your business. The linear process is actually limiting your ability to innovate in the eyes of the customer. So what does the selling model look like of the future? This is a great analogy I love to share. We have coffee beans. Coffee beans are 1 to 2 cents a cup. You can have bold coffee, you can have decaffeinated coffee, you can have coffee from Kenya, you can have coffee from my home state of Hawaii, you can have coffee from all over the world. But more importantly, at the end of the day, it's coffee beans. Or you can have a pot of coffee, which in our vernacular may be the solution or the outcome. That pot of coffee is what you think customers are buying. But what I had said earlier is that the experience economy is actually manifesting itself in the way you need to sell. What's interesting to me is that no matter that there was free coffee 10 feet away, the line downstairs at the coffee place was 30 deep. Now, why is that? You're buying the experience. So thinking about what is it you're selling. Are you selling coffee beans? Are you selling a pot of coffee? Or are you selling an experience? In this experience economy, you have to think about how you actually can sell differently. You can always have the need for the coffee bean in either of those other two scenarios. But you can't have those scenarios if you only sell the coffee beans. So think in terms of the outcome. Think in terms of how the customer is actually going to use your solution in new and innovative ways. It will really begin to transform the way you present yourself to the market, as well as the way the market perceives you. You have to rethink your journey, not only your journey, but your buyer's journey. You can't get there doing what you've always done. You have to transform your business model. We will be more competitive. You will be more competitive. Microsoft will be more competitive if you can really rally and harness all the things that have been shown to you this week. What worked in the past may not work in the future. You have to be deliberate about your business model. Possibly use that scenario of, am I really going to orient around the coffee beans or the commodity? Am I going to focus on the solution, or am I going to look to the experience? The urgency is here. So thinking about how can you improve the funnel at the top, get more leads down to the bottom, get your sellers being more actionable and prescriptive, will drive profitability into your business and satisfy your customers going forward. With that, we've got another great partner here that we're going to spend a little bit of time with. That's going to share with you on her journey. So I'm going to bring up Emily Lynch. Hey, Emily, nice to see you. Thanks for coming. Once again, with 14,000 of my closest friends.
Thank you, Tiffany.
So your business model has been hybrid now. You've transformed.
We have.
And I think you've reinvested to reinvent, which I think is a great way to position what you've been doing. How did you manage that process?
Well, it was certainly a journey where we found ourselves in a position where we'd been dipping our toe into this model, and we had to set ourselves in a stance and decide to commit fully. And so we then really developed a business, just as you would any startup business or any new business that you're creating. Create a budget, create the business model, track it, decide where your revenues need to be, and hold yourself accountable to it.
Absolutely. And when you found you were making this journey, what did your sort of employees, right, those that worked at your company, how did they feel about this journey?
You know, there was excitement about it, and I think the excitement was generated by the fact that there was a plan, and they could see it in execution. There was a budget behind it, and there were people who were solely accountable for it.
Excellent, excellent. So as the VP of marketing,
yes,
right, and sales and marketing, we love each other, right?
Yes.
So as the VP of marketing, how has your marketing strategy changed? You know, as you think about all the things that I just discussed, right, the new technology, the new buyer, and the new selling model, what have you done to really shore up the marketing for the organization?
Yes, so our marketing has changed dramatically in the last 18 months, and we have moved very, very strongly toward a digital model. And our marketing has also taken on a much more educational bent. And the reason for that is in transforming to the cloud, we need to, as marketers, create a much larger funnel for our sales teams. We also need to we need to drive that funnel faster, and we need to drive that funnel much more deeply before we transition to sales. And so how we do that in this world where our customers are educating themselves is to market with with an understanding of the context of our customers, present them with content that is appropriate to their place in the funnel, and move them down that funnel effectively and efficiently for our sellers.
So digital marketing, it's sort of a term that's been tossed around a lot. And I
Yes.
think content is important, as you mentioned, but digital marketing is kind of one of those things that I'm not really sure a lot of people really understand. So as you think about improving the customer's digital journey, right, and getting better on selling to the right customer with
Yes.
the right technology at the right time, how have you gotten better at tying that all together?
Well, to be honest, it's been a matter of experimentation, and that's you're right. Digital marketing is kind of this term that has a vague understanding about it, and it's a combination of content and systems. But at the crux of it is putting your brain to the analysis of understanding what is the experience that someone is having with me, or having with our brand and our company
Right.
through all their experiences in this digital environment, and measuring how they interact with that, and then improving, iterating to improve all the time.
And have customers given you positive feedback, better customer satisfaction, or have you learned things from the customers that have been positive, I guess good response to the work you've been doing?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we're getting there as we continue to improve. But our customers are so educated by the time they really enter the fold and they become clients, that the next selling mechanism of bringing on more consumption, more services, more projects is becoming easier because they have such a good base of education.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for being up here with me. I'm going to ask you to
Absolutely,
stand up
Tiffany.
here for a second.
Sure.
I'm going to invite Finn back up to the stage. Thank you very much. Let's give her a hand. Great information. So now I've got two great partners. If there was something you could leave with this wonderful group of my friends, what would you tell them today? What would you tell them would be the one thing for them to look out for at the end of this week?
Well, really, that would be use the local Microsoft team. We've had a tremendous amount of help from our local team, and it has really helped us in how we developed our business. And I know it's a surprise, but there are actually a lot of very clever people at Microsoft, I must say.
Excellent. What would you say? As the marketer, what would be your point of recommendation? Because I know a lot of these guys still really struggle with even having a full-time marketer in the business, right? And they're just trying to justify that spend. So what would be your marketing recommendation for them?
Yes, absolutely. As the marketer in the room, I would say if you have not embarked on your investigation or your journey of digital marketing, you need to do that, and you need to do that tomorrow. And the next day, you need to have measured what you did tomorrow and improve on it. That would be my recommendation.
Excellent. Well, this has been really great. It's been a pleasure being up here with you guys. Let's give them a hand.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you. Thanks.
I want to thank you guys for your continued support. It's always a pleasure to be in front of you. Remember, go out there, be bold, be strong, and sell more. Thank you, guys.
Mandarin Oriental manages some of the world's most legendary hotels and resorts. We provide 21st century luxury with Oriental charm. As a global luxury brand, we provide an extraordinary combination of quality, tradition, and innovation. Technology plays a key role in how we innovate and deliver a personalized luxury experience for our guests. We believe tablets running the right solution in our guest rooms can help. However, putting off-the-shelf consumer tablets with some web-based apps in our guest rooms wasn't good enough. We need an enterprise-level solution, and we chose to pilot a Microsoft solution in partnership with Iris Software Systems. Guests can use the Surface Pro tablet to order a number of hotel services, from housekeeping and valet to in-room dining. Every day, we're committed to making a difference. We're excited to bring this first-to-market industry solution with Microsoft. We see this as just the beginning, and we envision adding many more services across our hotels in the future. As we open in new and exciting destinations, we remain focused on becoming widely recognized as the best luxury hotel group in the world.